my God!
All right. I hope you didn't catch that last comment. Collectors of everything, experts of none. Episode 41.
41.
Here we go.
Yep.
Here we go. Peter just brought up the fact that the Titans had a bit of a miserable weekend. Funny enough, the Broncos got flogged 40, whatever it was, and then they came back and they won pretty much by the same margin this week.
I think we need to go back and start this podcast again because nobody wants to talk about football, dude.
That's fair. Anyway. Hope everybody's well. Peter, hope you're well.
Yeah.
A few things to talk about tonight.
Yep.
We've got some sports card, Marvel card releases. D23 has just wrapped up over in Anaheim, in California.
It kind of feels at the moment like it's a bit of like the hangover from the National, doesn't it?
We're
like
going.
there wasn't a lot going on this week concerning sort of cards and stuff like that because
not really.
Everyone's like, "Oh, dude, we just blew our wage completely last week." So yeah,
every breaker is just
we're not breaking
everything.
anything at the moment. So, but yeah, so
yeah, it's a little bit of a hangover, but I mean, D23 was on obviously. And there's a few things happening at the moment, which we'll get into. First of all, if you are watching us and you're liking the podcast, make sure you're liking, sharing, subscribing, depending where you're looking at us on YouTube or we're on Spotify. We're also on X. Well, we're on X. We're not very big on X, I must admit. Elon Musk is a little bit bigger than us. I mean, every time I go on X, I'm like, oh man, Elon says some cool stuff. And then I just start looking at all his stuff. So anyway, the podcast is obviously brought to you by icollekt. If you haven't checked icollekt out, it's on what did I say last week? It's on all good app stores.
It's on the cool app stores.
On the cool app stores, yeah.
So if you get cool apps, you can get icollekt.
Yeah, it's about as cool as Raygun. But anyway, we'll move on from that. But yeah, so if you haven't checked it out, you can download it and have a quick look at it. You can see the showcase page, or the feed, should I say, on the homepage. Have a look and see who's uploading, posting. There's all sorts of different collectibles on there. You can also create groups, and you can direct message people as well on there.
You can also join groups. There's lots of groups there already that you can join in and jump in on the community. I mean, that's kind of what icollekt is all about. So
correct. Buy and sell as well, all through PayPal. So if you do have a PayPal account, that's all you need in regards to buying and selling. And yeah, make sure you check it out. And it keeps the lights on here at Collectors of Everything, Experts of None, HQ. Does. So anyway, shout out to Stan. Hope you're well.
Yeah, I hope he's all right. Shout out to Mr. Paul Naylor for last week. Busting my guts, man. Like literally, I don't think I've laughed that hard for a very long time. Very informative, but very silly at the same time. It was a lot of fun.
The authority on Jaws.
On Jaws,
the Jaws movies. Yeah. I reckon people watched that short and went, oh, sick, there's a Jaws expert on here. Went to watch it and went, oh, man, he's a Star Wars expert. Damn it.
Stupid Star Wars nerds.
It's true. That's what everyone says.
But no, it was awesome. And we'll get Paul back on to actually talk about Jaws because the dude actually knows what he's talking about as well.
I didn't realize that. Yeah, you've told me that just recently. So he actually does collect a fair bit of Jaws stuff as well, which is quite cool. Yeah. Some pretty amazing stuff. And we've got a question tonight, which I'll talk about a little bit later. But even some of those rappers, like the Streets rappers and stuff you brought out were incredible.
It's one of those hard things because we barely, after, doing the sort of the way that the podcast is structured and stuff like that, and just how random the conversations can sort of diverge to, we barely sort of got to touch on the stuff that Paul really wants to go through. But, I mean, I guess it just leaves it open for him to come back and be able to talk about other stuff as well. So,
we do like
very lucky.
Victims. It's good.
We do, except for Dave.
Dave's been back twice now. I think it's got to be at least another 70 or 80 episodes before we get Dave back on. Because he's too much. The fan mail's crazy. I can't keep up with it.
I thought it was next week, but
is it?
I'll have to message him and tell him no.
Is it? No, it's not next week.
Dave, I'm lying. Go away. Stop emailing me.
I love Dave. Yeah. Hi, Dave. Anyway, so we'll get started. There's a few things we can talk about tonight. And I know we've gone over this a fair few times over the last few weeks, but Deadpool did crack $1 billion on the worldwide box office.
Man.
$1 billion. What's Ryan Reynolds going to buy with $1 billion now? That's amazing.
I saw a really cool thing today.
A new football club, maybe.
Yeah, well, yeah, or buy some players so you can actually win the premiership.
What did you see today?
I saw a thing today. It was from Japan. It was a full-length flatbed truck with what had to look like a 20-foot Deadpool laying on the back, holding a heart with Hugh Jackman's face on it, and there was there was Romaji or kanji on it that I couldn't actually read, but I'm sure that it was a very kawaii thing to say about his best mate Hugh. So I love it. I love
How
the
good's
fact
that marketing? How good's that
you
marketing?
can walk down the street. When I was growing up, liking all this stuff, liking Star Wars, anything to do with like nerdy stuff, you would never think that I could walk down, like I did today, the main street of South Bank, and there's a 40-foot poster of Wolverine and Deadpool fighting on it. We're living the dream.
Yeah, it's killer.
Kids these days don't know what it's like to not have that cool stuff.
I've seen a lot of kids. The two hearts. You've seen the two hearts with him and with Deadpool and Wolverine on each side. Yeah, I've seen a fair bit of that stuff. I haven't seen too much marketing around. I did see that video from Japan though. That was killer. Yeah, and that's something that would be typical of seeing in Japan, like just over the top,
Japan
outrageous
is so
advertising.
random, man. Like I miss Japan every day. That I wake up and look outside and I go, bloody Australia again.
Yeah.
I just want snow.
You should be proud. We've done well. The Olympics have just finished and we've done very well in the Olympics. Did we win gold in the women's breakdancing? I didn't actually check the results.
We won some sort of gold, buddy. We won the gold that comes from our hearts. We love the ray gun.
Yeah, the ray gun.
Woo.
It's golden. Well, it's not golden, unfortunately. We came fourth. Just so you know, we came fourth. It's pretty impressive. Japan beat us, which is okay with us.
Yeah,
and America and China beat us.
Yeah, but that's kind of a given.
Yeah, and then I read this thing the other day. It's like per capita, Australia would have won it by far. I'm like, that's fair. How much do we spend on athletics and sports in this country? It's huge. So we expect that we should do quite well in the Olympics. But anyway.
Like in Australia, we've got the population of Tokyo, or we've got the population of New York. Then they've got the rest of the rest of America and the rest of Japan to like fatten out their teams. I mean, what's Australia got? 27 million people that live here?
I think so, something like that.
Yeah. It's not crazy. We don't live in the middle of Australia. It's too hot. We're not hobbits.
It's quite warm there. So I've heard. Actually, there's a place in. I don't know why we talk about this stuff on the podcast that has nothing to do with most of the things we talk about, but there's a place called Coopapedi for people that aren't watching from Australia.
Yep.
And Coopapedi, I believe, is in the border of South Australia and Northern Territory, or somewhere around that area.
Yeah,
it's so hot there. It's opal mining.
Yeah,
it's so hot that they live under the ground in their houses. They build their houses underground. So, fun fact for Australia and this episode that is the 41st.
Yeah, when I'm living in Coopapedi in an underground house, I know I've made it
because you're an opal miner.
Because I'm an opal miner. I watch enough stupid YouTube videos to be an opal miner.
There's an opal mining show on somewhere. I love it. It's awesome.
It's so good.
Anyway, I digress. Releases very quickly. Wouldn't be the first time.
I've already finished my wine. Damn it!
Oh, have you? Sorry.
2024. 9 minutes in.
Topps Finest Baseball is out. It's very shortly. 23-24 Panini Mosaic Basketball. These are pretty popular cards. These Mosaic Paninis. Yeah. There's a few rare ones that have come out. There's a hockey. I don't know a lot about hockey. I'll be the first to admit. But it looks like there is some. I don't know if they're logo men. I think they may be the Upper Deck logo men. But it looks like it's. Yeah, I believe it's got an on-card signature, and it's called Lustrous Rookies. Looks like a pretty valuable card, to be fair. Yeah, Panini Prism WWE. I've never ever bought any WWE cards, but
So actually, that's a question. Is this the last of the Panini sets? Because they lost the contract, didn't they? Was this already in the works?
Well, I'm not an expert on WWE cards, but I would assume. No, hang on.
I come here for relative information that I can trust. I don't care that it's called Collectors of Everything, Experts of None.
You're in the wrong place, my friend. So Panini lost it to Topps.
Yeah, they lost it to Topps. Yeah,
right. So
and they tried to sue the WWE. Remember?
That's right.
That was
That's
early,
a while ago,
man.
now.
Yeah,
we were talking about that a fair while ago. I have no idea. That's the straight answer. Well, we should probably check. Actually, maybe we'll talk about that in the next episode. We can give an update. But I don't know how many. So it's coming out, or what's already out. August 9th, it came out.
Okay.
The one thing I have noticed, and this is obviously a cash grab in my opinion from all the card companies, is the packs are smaller and the box sizes are smaller. It seems like they're shrinking by day, and the biggest culprits in my opinion have to be Marvel cards.
Non-sports cards, baby. Yeah. 100%.
So, on the 7th of August, the XL, the Upper Deck Marvel Masterpieces, which come out annually, 3 cards per pack.
Yep.
10 packs per box. I think we've spoken about this previously anyway, but stupid sizes. And then, hang on. And then you go and look at the actual collection. You have to buy 647 boxes just to get the collection because there's so many variables. It's insane.
And not get a double in it. Yeah, exactly.
Sweet cards. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying.
I think the market these days is made for people to get hits and not worry about base. If you're chasing base, you're buying base cards on eBay or you're going to Whatnot or somewhere like that to be able to go pick up bundles of base. Yeah, you're not breaking for base. It wouldn't make sense.
Well, to be fair, you'd sit there for, if it was me, if I was running for sets, I'd sit there for 3 months, let everybody break as much as they want, and then go online and you can probably pick up half sets, quarter sets, whatever it may be, for super cheap because no one wants them.
Yeah, it's junk. And if you're chasing the sets, then that's the way to do it. But otherwise. But, I mean, how many people these days are chasing sets? Maybe your old school guys?
Yeah. No. I know there's Marvel guys that I'm involved with, and they're definitely chasing sets.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, they love it. They're purists.
Yeah. No, I think it's great.
And then you get the variants.
Yeah. But, maybe Marvel needs to do a thing where, like what Topps do, where at the end of the year, Topps release the whole set in a box.
Yeah, maybe.
And there's nothing special about it, but you get all the cards, you get all the rookies, you get everything from 0 to 300.
Yeah,
and that's all you pay for.
I was trying to see what sort of variants are in here, but I can't really.
But we've had this argument.
Sort of variants is normal. Yeah, we have this argument regularly.
Yeah, well, it just if you're chasing a set, buy singles, don't buy boxes. It doesn't make sense from a financial point of view.
I agree. Yeah. Totally agree. But anyway, it'd be cool to see that set come out, and that was it. So there's a few boxes coming out, very sports oriented.
Well, have you? Sorry, did you see any of the Topps cards come out for the USA Olympic team?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
This is the set that came out for the NBA players for the basketball. This is the first time that there's been a Kevin Durant, a Steph Curry, and a LeBron signature on the same card.
And guess what?
Massive.
Guess what? It hasn't been found yet.
It hasn't. No,
I saw this a few days ago, and I'm like, man, that will be and it's on card as well.
On card, yep.
And Curry, I don't know if you saw that last game of the Olympics. That dude went crazy in the last 3 minutes or whatever it was in the game, and I think they were ahead by 2, and the guy drops 3 3-pointers in the last couple of minutes.
Look, you know what you're getting with Steph Curry, man.
Yeah, I didn't realize that's his first Olympics. I thought he'd already won a gold at the last Olympics, but he hasn't. It's his first Olympics, I believe. Anyway, LeBron's won, or LeBron's 86, so he's probably won, I think, 19 golds now.
Yeah.
The Olympics he's been to since 1936.
1936. I remember the ball was made of pigskin.
But that would be, look, I dare say that would be probably one of the rarest cards that anyone can get on card signatures. Where I don't even think so there was a LeBron Jordan. Was it a logo man? I can't remember. I should probably check these things before we get onto the podcast. But there was I don't know if it was on card or not. I don't think it was. I think it might have been just a stick on. But I mean, logo men are pretty crazy.
I think it's sort of a big deal because obviously it's the Olympics. It's a generational kind of thing. That's the reason why this card would be so big. To me, it's kind of like the cards that came out from the World Baseball Classic where, Shohei struck out Mike Trout. It's one of those things that, probably won't happen again. That's why it was such a big thing. And for them to have released that set of the 3 1-on-1s all signed by them, Topps marketing department deserves at least a 24 box of Krispy Kremes on this one because they've knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
24?
24.
24. I would have said a golf clap. But that's okay.
They can afford it. Yeah.
They can afford it. I've seen
they
the guys'
only get
parties.
one each, and there's 30 people in the office, so
that's true.
It's whoever's first in, best dressed. Yeah.
Speaking of baseball, you did send me a cool story about the Seattle Mariners.
Dude, this is such a good story.
Well, you should talk about it because you sent it to me.
Obviously, baseball in America is seen very differently from, what Australians look at baseball. It's their national pastime. It's a big thing. Seattle Mariners put on, I think it was kind of a day where they were for kids who were in hospital, suffering from, different afflictions and things like that. So these kids got to come and sit at the table, and all the Seattle Mariners came up to them and got them to sign these kids their own cards. And I was like, dude, that is cool. I mean, as a kid, could you imagine having someone like Julio Rodriguez come up to you and go, can I get your signature? Julio! But, it's a massive thing. And I really think that it's so cool to watch these guys giving back to a community. And that's what I really like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I'm not chasing the kids' cards.
What? You're not? Okay.
Yeah,
that's fair. That's fair. We did watch Mighty Ducks yesterday with Emilio in it, and that was pretty cool. I busted an Emilio, and then my kids are like, "You're an idiot. What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "You know what? Joke's on you. You haven't seen Night at the Roxbury, so."
We just watched The Sandlot kids again, and I freaking love that movie, man.
Like the 642nd time in your house.
That ball is gone forever. Forever. Yeah.
Had a name like Babe on it or something, didn't it?
Yeah, this is Baby Ruth.
Baby
Ruth. The Great Bambino. The Salt and the SWAT.
God. So,
it's the same guy.
Pardon me. D23 just finished, actually.
Yeah.
Yesterday or the day before in Anaheim, California.
Mm-hmm.
Cool place to be.
Yeah.
All this it was quite funny because all the Marvel stuff was coming out at in San Diego at Comic-Con.
Well,
no one sort of puts two and two together and is like, oh, that's right, it's Disney. And all this other weird stuff starts coming out at Disney. Just quickly on Lacana, I'm a big fan of Lacana. They've released a set of 6 cards that were 2 per person at the show. Now, if you don't know Lacana, it's quite rare for them to release special cards. They've done it a couple of times when there's big competitions on.
Yep.
And the cards are marked. If you're buying Lacana first edition or the 37 editions after that, they're not marked at all. They're all the same. So you can get reprints, and it's as if you bought them 3 years ago.
Which is insanity.
Well, it is. Well, it's insanity, 1, but 2, it also makes sure that people are enjoying the actual game rather than just trying to gouge for cards. Right.
Nobody cares about the common folk.
I
want to collect my first editions. But this is how collectors think. And like we literally had this conversation before because I was like, nah, that's that's not real. You're telling lies. It
No, it's
doesn't
real.
work that way. And you proved it to me, and I was like, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, there's not even a date at the bottom of the card which differentiates from the first edition to the stuff that's coming out now.
No, not at all.
Yeah, insane.
So I've shown cards like I call them secret rares, but they're not really. They're Lacana. I forget what they're called. But they're essentially like alternate art cards, and there's no difference if you got it today or if you got it 3 years ago. So there's actually no point holding boxes of first edition, to be fair, unless they stop printing them, and then the boxes become rare, which is, I guess, what some people are sitting on.
Well,
okay.
I can see that literally your box says first edition, doesn't it?
Well, the box does say first edition.
Yeah.
And there may be a date on the box. I'm not sure. I highly doubt it because they've probably done it strategically. But they gave away, so there was a competition going on, I think it was the start of this year, maybe, which the winners of all the competitions were given a Stitch card, a Stitch Rockstar card. Now, at the bottom of each of the cards, it's got a little symbol, but this one had these two little sort of arrows, I guess, pointing, or little pizzas pointing towards it, which is the variant. So those cards would obviously be worth a little bit more. I haven't seen, I'm guessing they would say, I didn't actually check it out, but I'm guessing they would say D23 at the bottom of these cards that have been bought. But they're already up online, going for anywhere from $350 to $500. I'm not sure what they were going for at the actual D23. But the good news is, well, let me just go through them first. So there was a Mickey Mouse, the Brave Little Tailor, which was from I think the first Disney convention that came out after Lacana got launched. Okay. And so that's come out again. Rise of the Floodborn, Cinderella, Into the Inklands, Ursula's Return, Shimmering Skies, and there's a new one. So there's a November 2024 set preview card, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. I haven't seen the card personally, but I do know that there's a lot for sale because, and I saw a lot of posts go up on social media going, I had 6 family members with me. So I've ended up with 12 boxes of these cards. So they're pretty cool little boxes.
Yeah.
And the question comes down to, will they be valuable once they're opened or will they not? I don't know. Would you play them? I always go back now to when we had Peps on.
Yeah, where you can't play
the graded
cards.
You're just flexing the graded cards. It makes zero difference at all. 100%. And so I probably should look into it a bit more, whether those Lacana cards are worth anything more, but I highly doubt it. They're probably just pieces that are actually for collectibles.
Is this a good marketing strategy by Disney to sort of take away the collecting market and make it just like a role-playing game?
Yeah, well, that's what they're trying to do, I think. I mean, you look at Pokemon at year 2000, Charizard. There was an event that was on with those really rare Charizards that it came out. And then they've evolved, right? So then there's alternate art, Charizard, there's XYZ, whatever it may be. Shiny. And it's evolved. And it's cool because it's evolved. Yeah. So there's a whole market for vintage. Well, essentially it is vintage now, 24, 25 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And now there's a new market. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Is it selling? I guess is the question.
Look, I mean, that's the whole thing. If there's a market for it, but like that was the question that I'm proposing. Have Disney gone out of their way to
not do the same thing,
to kill off a secondary market?
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah. But why?
Well,
because you're not making money off it?
Yeah, potentially. But well, I don't know why they'd care about not making money off it, because Pokemon are by far the biggest entertainment company in the world in regards to cards.
Yeah.
And they don't care because they're still popular.
Yeah.
They keep bringing out the cartoons, they keep bringing out the cards, they probably bring out comics as well, I'm assuming, somewhere. And they're bringing a whole range of different things, collaborations, things like that. And they're sitting there going, well, people love Pokemon. It's all good. Disney do sit there and go, well, it's fair to say that Disney are money grubbing people. And
that was
they're all about the dollar.
That was very well said, Neil. You were very,
I could have said something else, but I didn't.
You did very well.
I mean, all you have to do is look into Disney a little bit further and realize that they're not there to entertain people, that they just make dollars, which is a shame. So and don't get me wrong, they keep releasing a lot of editions of different cards. There was the first edition. There's a new one coming out, as I said, in November. It's got to be 4 or 5 Lacana sets now that have come out. But hugely popular. And some of these, just so you know, for people in Australia, they're actually bringing them here. So I was reading that there's some limited locations that'll be in the United States, United Kingdom, Ireland, France, and Austria.
Oh, really?
Australia. Yeah.
Australia?
Hmm.
Hey,
so, yeah.
Prime Minister.
It's an emergency.
It's an emergency.
Oh, he's got a good one. Speaking of things. Anyway, so let's see what happens. But they are selling for... I don't actually know what they cost.
Where are the actual Disney stores in Australia?
No
There's
idea.
only one, isn't there? I'm pretty sure it's only one in Sydney.
Is there a Disney store in Sydney? I don't know of it.
Well, it's got to be Sydney or Melbourne. I mean, serious.
I don't know. Let me have a look.
It's definitely not Brisbane Vegas.
Because I don't think there's any Disney stores in Australia. I think it could be online. You may find it's online. Because I'm not seeing any shops at all.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right. Fair enough.
No, I can't see any. Anyway, there may be.
We'll have to send them an email and say, hey, we came fourth in the Olympics. We deserve a Disney store.
A Disney store. Yeah. I do remember did there used to be a Disney store on the Gold Coast? Or was it a Warner Brothers store?
It was a Warner Brothers store. Yeah.
Warner Brothers store. That's right. Okay.
That's where I got a lot of my Batman Beyond stuff from. Because I had a mate that worked there and used to kind of walk out and chuck it in his bag and go, yeah, see ya. Go, oh, look at I go, yeah. I'd be like, see.
Give you a quality discount.
I actually think you can
quality
still see
discount.
Can you see that Batman standing
I can see it. Yeah.
That's my Batman Beyond statue.
Yeah,
so
I can see it.
It's got a hollow chest cavity, and you can, with 2 thumbs, you can push it in. So we used to push it in, and they'd be like, "Oh, they're defective. We'll sell it to you for $5." And I'd be like, "Yeah, okay,
sweet.
Take it out." You push in the back, and the chest pops out. Perfect. Hacks.
So
the things we had to do as kids to get toys because we didn't have jobs.
That's true, and had zero money.
Zero money.
Ghost Rider, another thing to come out to D23, and so I've read this as a rumor. I don't know if it's actually happened.
Well, it must have if D23 is finished.
Well, I don't know. I should probably look because we didn't get around to looking at this, but you can say what it was.
Mr. Ryan Gosling, after coming out and playing Barbie, is now going to play Ghost Rider, which is
I believe so. Yeah, he's going to play Ghost Rider,
isn't it? Johnny Blaze?
As in the character?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nicolas Cage was the previous Ghost Rider.
You've made me question everything in my whole life that I've ever done when I said Johnny Blaze, and you looked at me like I'm an idiot. I'm like,
that wouldn't be the first time.
I think I got it right. Maybe
we've heard your Harry Potter stories of relevance before. When I was very nervous on this podcast, someone actually brought that up the other day. Someone brought up that story about, and they're like, "What was he going on about?" I'm like, "Well, I was pretty nervous too." And then he sort of brought it back in, and I was like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense, sure." But they were like, "That's wild." The story he said about Harry Potter. Anyway,
why is it wild?
Well, it is. The way you said it was insane.
Did I say it wrong?
Sister, well, I didn't say it. There's no wrong or right. You just said it. And he was like, then he brought it back in and it actually made a lot of sense. He's like, exactly. It's true. It's exactly what happened.
Yes.
Yeah. Shout out to Pete.
Lucky I pay attention to the internet.
Not you, Pete, my friend Pete, who actually was talking about it with me. But anyway, so Ryan Gosling.
Nothing.
No,
just heartbroken. Just heartbroken.
About what?
I thought you gave me a shout out then.
No, not you. I gave the other Pete.
I got it.
Pete I like.
I got it. Trust me. Yeah. I'm like that Simpsons episode where Lisa turns around and tells Ralph that she's not his girlfriend.
You can see
the moment where his heart explodes, and he goes,
"How good is that?"
Yeah. It's what you just did to me, Neil.
That's fair. That's right. Yeah.
I bet my Wookiee.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I agree with it. Nicolas Cage is a top 10 actor.
I have no problem. I would have had no problem with Nicolas Cage coming back and reprising his role.
I mean, you sit there and go, is he too old? Not really. Harrison Ford came back and has done the 2015 Indiana Jones. So
dude, Harrison Ford's coming back and playing Red Hulk.
Yeah.
I mean,
True.
could
be a bit of CGI in that. But
oh, well, it depends if he takes his blood pressure medications.
It's true.
So, yeah. It's that whole thing of it doesn't matter what you look at different things at. To me, when you talk about certain characters have that person. Batman, it's Michael Keaton. He takes his mask off, it's Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
We're not getting into Batman now, but Spider-Man, as much as I love Tom Holland, as much as I am happy that Tobey Maguire is an American actor, I still think of Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man.
Tobey Maguire looked 55 when he was doing the movie. It doesn't make sense.
Well, so he should. He's never apologized for the dumb stuff he did in Spider-Man.
Yeah, I mean, he was too old for the role.
No, he just looked like an idiot.
No, he was too old.
When he walked down that street, man, it is the most cringy thing in cinema history. We've spoken about this before on the podcast.
There's worse. There's worse. There's definitely worse. But
really?
The new kid, Tom Holland, 100% is the best Spider-Man ever.
Nah, Andrew Garfield.
Nah, I disagree. Anyway, let's not go there. We'll add
not
the
a hard question
to our rapid questions.
We're going to have an episode. It is literally someone comes on. It's just going to be questions. So who do you like better?
Yeah, we have 2 minutes to talk about what you want to talk about. Yeah, we have 2 minutes for you to talk about whatever you want to talk about. Then we've got 67 rapid questions we're going to ask you over the next hour.
Batman.
Anyway,
Spider-Man.
A couple of so Ryan Gosling. So that'll be interesting. Let's see how it goes. I'm not convinced.
He's too pretty.
Yeah, it's true.
He's meant to be a carny.
What character would be better for him to play in DC or Marvel? Two-Face?
Wow, no. He
DC did play a good lawyer.
Any character.
What was that movie he played a good lawyer in? With Anthony Hopkins? I forget now. Anyway, so he could do Two-Face. You could be a good lawyer. Anyway, a couple of other notable mentions from D23. Let's move on because everybody's getting bored right now.
You keep talking, and I'm going to think about,
Toy Story 5 is coming out. Frozen 3 is coming out. Will be a monstrous hit, no doubt. The third Avatar movie is coming out. I must admit, I haven't seen the second Avatar movie. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen Avatar.
You've never seen Avatar?
I haven't seen Avatar. And as a science fiction person, I'm very scared about saying that on the internet.
Well, this is definitely going to turn up as a short on YouTube. So,
dude,
have you really never seen Avatar?
I've never seen it.
Come on.
Never seen it.
Oh, really?
No. Never seen it. Don't you start with me. The amount of movies that I could name that you have not seen.
Name one.
House of a Thousand Corpses.
I have not seen that movie.
Exactly. So you shut your bread and cheese hole.
What is that? Did it even make any money? All seven people watching this episode went, what the hell is that? I've never seen it either.
It does not matter that Rob Zombie was selling off pieces of the set on eBay to continue funding the movie. It is a great movie.
I have seen Frozen and Frozen 2, so that makes sense. Wow. So the third Avatar movie, I haven't seen the second one. I probably should watch it. Incredibles 3, great franchise. Fantastic.
I loved Incredibles. I thought it was
Incredibles is cool.
Really good. Yeah.
Fantastic Four.
Well, and there's also Agatha along the way as well, which is going to be a big one for Marvel fans. Neil doesn't know what that is because he didn't watch WandaVision.
No.
So, but I'm actually looking forward. I think that when they announced it at D23, it was actually like a music video. It wasn't actually a trailer or anything like that.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool.
It was a musical kind of scene that they released to the public. So, which is really cool because I'm really looking forward to that show because I loved WandaVision. I thought it was great. The way that it was shot, the the way that every episode kind of changed a decade and went all the way through. And it was the first crossover of the X-Men coming into the Marvel universe for the first time once.
Is that right?
Yeah, once Disney. So in Days of Future Past.
Yes.
Quicksilver's in that.
Yes.
So Quicksilver's sister is Wanda. So in the Avengers Age of Ultron, the actor who played Quicksilver was the same actor who played Kick-Ass. Aaron someone, I can't remember what his name is. But when WandaVision came out, he walked in and it was the actual X-Men Quicksilver, which changed everything. I remember him opening the door, like she opened the door and he was there and we were like...
Didn't he die in the Marvel movie, the brother?
In the Age of Ultron, yes, he did. He died saving Hawkeye, I think.
Yes.
He like took a bullet for Hawkeye.
Yeah, it's blurry. There's a lot of those movies I've watched.
There's a lot of a lot of Marvel.
But he did die. I know that.
Yeah. But that was the big thing. So it was the first time that we've seen sort of the merger of the Fox and the Disney conglomerate coming together.
I love the X-Men. I love the X-Men version of Quicksilver.
He was
great. The best.
100% great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep seeing that the video of when he helps Magneto escape from the and from where he sort of lets him out and runs through, and then they have that whole kitchen scene where he's running around the walls. Oh, yeah, forget about it, man. That was such a great. Yeah,
I sat there and I'm like, why is there a kitchen there? How did it end up being a kitchen where they were?
I don't know. Maybe it was because the least conspicuous place to put Magneto would be at the roller door of a kitchen, which goes to a loading dock.
Yeah, it's interesting. With a lot of pots and pans and knives and a lot of other things that are made out of metal.
Yeah, really bad planning, Neil.
Yeah,
really bad planning.
I'm calling it out.
Yeah,
from 15 years ago, I'm calling it out right now.
This is why Fox doesn't make the movies anymore.
Yeah, that's fair. Live action Lilo and Stitch. We did talk about Stitch from the Locana side.
I'm worried about this because I love Lilo and Stitch. And they're going to have to do it really well. And I really hope they don't stuff it up.
There's a lot of live orchestra stuff going on at the moment in Australia in regards to Back to the Future and Terminator, I think it was. And there's a few other movies where they're doing orchestras where they're playing the movie and then doing a live. Yeah, which I've never been to one. I don't know. Have you ever been to one?
No.
Yeah. I think it's probably pretty cool.
Yeah.
Maybe I should go check it out. But yeah, it seems to be sort of the popular thing at the moment where they're captivating the 35 to 50-year-old market of
making us pay more money to watch a video that we can watch on Disney on my couch. Yeah.
Pretty much. So yeah. Anyway, good story.
It'd probably be cheaper to buy a sound bar. I could do it over and over again. So
possibly. Anyway. Topic of today. And you should probably bring this up before I do, but D&D Dungeon Master.
Okay, all right.
You talk about it first, and then I can give my opinion on it.
It's a strange kind of topic for us to touch on the podcast because it doesn't really have a lot to do with sort of collecting, but it has a lot to do with the overall sort of scene of what we're into, of people who enjoy Dungeons and Dragons, enjoy collecting stuff. So, and that's what we're all about.
Yep.
So the big thing was, I'm part of a group on Facebook for the people who love Dimension 20. So Dimension 20 is part of, a larger sort of, conglomerate. I can't remember what it's called at the moment.
That's all right.
But the Dimension 20 side of it is all D&D sort of stuff that goes on. And that's where, some of my favorite campaigns, like, I can't even think of it at the moment.
That's okay.
Then the one that was set in New York, I can't remember. The Unsleeping City. That was it.
Good,
Sorry,
good to
that
see
was
you've done
one.
heaps. Good to see you've done heaps of research before we bring up this topic. That's good to see.
I was actually really ready to argue about Lilo and Stitch because I'm really worried about it, and then you threw the D&D thing at me, and I'm like, I'm not ready for this.
Anyway, so what was the context of the story?
The whole thing was someone posted about running a campaign by themselves with her and their partner, with him and his partner, sorry, and they were using AI to generate the Dungeon Master, but they weren't only just generating the AI to use the Dungeon Master, they were using it as Brennan Lee Mulligan as his voice and doing it that way. Now, I kind of read it and I was like, oh, that seems a little bit weird. Like, why would you sort of do that? The thread blew up. People were absolutely dirty about it, and they did not hold back on the way that they express their feelings.
Yeah.
So Brennan Lee Mulligan he's an actor. He does a lot of the D&D stuff. He's super popular. I would look at him in the D&D community as a demigod. That's how much he is.
Yeah.
loved.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. But this is also a guy who protested against the use of AI and the use of AI to take over someone else's voice or to play, someone else's face or body or something like that. So what it came down to was that conundrum of how is it ethical to be able to use AI? Do I need to speak to that person and ask their permission to be able to use their voice before I create this? Now, all their voice images, everything is all public. So you can, obviously AI can take it from wherever they want. But ethically, is it okay? Like these are the questions that we're getting into now that it blows my mind because I don't understand anything to do with AI.
Right.
It just, to me, it's kind of like when my grandparents were trying to put CDs in and they're going, where do you put the needle?
Yeah.
It's
so essentially,
it's not a record.
So essentially, what you can do with AI so you can essentially put in context of what you want, and then it feeds it back to you. So, for example, if you put in, write me a great comic involving XYZ and make a huge scene at the end where they're fighting each other, blah, 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 and it'll create that for you based on trawling the internet essentially for data, and then creating what you want. So a lot of people use it. I know ChatGPT is quite big. And they can build websites and things like that. And there's and that's just the more commercial side of it. But yeah, you can basically, anything that's on the internet, you can basically take and use. Now, is it okay to use someone's voice? Well, I don't know. Ethically, it's probably the sort of question that if you've put something on, so for example, so say that they wanted to use Peter's voice from Collectors of Everything, Experts of None, and you say no, but you've put up all your information onto YouTube and Spotify. It doesn't cost anything to watch it. I hope it does someday. It'd be great to get some money out of this.
Guys,
if you want us to go to a subscription service, let us know. We're happy to go to it. But anyway,
that sounded so desperate.
It's cool because I've run out of whatever I'm drinking here. I've got none left. But no, seriously, if it's on there, it's on there, and there's rules around this. I mean, if you put stuff up on the internet, you're not getting it back, and it's free for anyone to take, and they can use it. In the context of someone using your face to defraud someone else, that's probably a little bit different. Do I think it's a bad thing for someone to do AI and have some guy's voice talking while they're doing D&D? I don't know. What's the concept of D&D? Is it to try and make money out of it? Or is it to have real life interactions into a universe of Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah.
I get that. And I get that they're not using it to create, any sort of income or anything like that. But I was literally, I would not have brought this up if I was just not stunned by the over 300 comments that came
was
in
huge.
on this thread.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
just tore them a new one.
It was a
And
bit
I
like
was like-
you're. It was a bit like you're going to Big W to look for toys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well. But look, I think that, probably using someone who has actively tried to protest to stop this, it's not a great idea. And you know what? If you're going to do it, to yourself.
Yeah, probably.
Don't put it on the internet.
Yeah.
I mean,
and again,
really?
and that's another point, right? So they've gone and said that on the internet. So when you put something out on the internet, you're going to get good and bad.
Yeah,
you're
going to get the high fives and you're going to get the shanks in the back as well. That's what happens.
And that's what we get a lot. I mean, with this podcast, it's like, well, why do you guys even bother? Because you're terrible. I mean, I get it.
People keep telling me, just Neil is dead weight. Get Dave on, man. So
that's so true. That's so true. So true. But
look, I look at AI as something that can be super awesome.
Yeah.
But I don't want to see people getting taken advantage of as well, because when does it get to the point that, someone's watching this podcast and goes, you know what? We should make a video with Peter in it. And they can do whatever they want with my likage, my voice, all those kinds of things. Nobody wants to see it. I don't want to see that.
Well,
my wife doesn't want to see that.
Yeah.
But this is the thing that can come from it. And the coolest thing that came out of the whole conversation that was on that thread was Brennan himself is actually a spokesperson for a company. And I think you've got it in front of you. I can't remember what it was called. I did send it to you.
Oh, sorry. Yes. You did send it to me.
But it's a company for people to be able to get in contact with actual real DMs. And you can employ them to come and run. You can employ them to come and run your campaigns for you.
How sick would that be?
Mate, look, it's great. You know what? I want to play D&D. You want to play D&D.
It's like the Uber. It's like the Uber of D&D. I just put it in my phone and it's there.
We put $20 in each a week, and we have someone come and give us a whole story campaign for 3 hours on a Friday night.
Yep.
Not only are you benefiting from it, the person who is writing the campaign is benefiting from it. I mean, it's a win-win situation. Why would you use AI when you could use a real person to come in? I think it's called Start Play is what it's called.
Okay. Yeah.
And Brennan is actually a spokesman for the company. Like, he came out and did adverts and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, do that. I know for a fact that there's on Facebook marketplaces, there's guys that you can put in, like you put in DM, like Dungeon Master in the search. And there's guys who'll come in and for $20 an hour will come and run your D&D campaign.
It's pretty cool.
It's awesome. And you know what? AI can't generate the randomness of what humans can do in D&D at the moment.
Of course not. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah. But it would be a different game.
Yeah, because people are idiots. And they will just go like the wrong way completely.
Yeah.
And that's what makes D&D so great. And like as an old person looking at AI, this stuff kind of makes me sit back and go, I don't know about this. This is kind of a little scary.
It's happening.
Oh, yeah.
And but it's about adapting.
Yeah, but this is what happened to our parents. Like, you tend to sort of grow out of these things. And,
the mobile phone came along and anyone over the age of 50 sits there on speaker going, hello?
Yeah. There's nothing worse than those people walking around going,
yeah?
Yes!
Oh.
Yes! No, I can't hear you.
Every person over the age of 50 does that on their phone. I don't know what it is. You can put it to your ear and shut up and just talk on it.
Oh, I actually can't do that. So.
Well, you can't shut up? Oh,
no, I can shut up. I drop.
But they do. I'm telling you, from the age 50 up, they have it on speaker because, they don't want to get a brain tumor or something. That must have been the marketing that was going on back in the day when that first came out. Now they're all paranoid. Yeah. But anyway.
Yeah, well.
I'm sweet. And I have it on my head 8 hours a day. Anyway. Hey, but an interesting concept, which I think, and for writers, for musicians, for all sorts of people that are in the arts, it's probably a pretty scary time. But I would imagine that you need to try and adapt. Even I'm not going to get into this now, but even with Spotify, the returns that you get on streaming on Spotify is criminal. Like, I can't believe that they're allowed to do that. But at the end of the day, they've created a base, they've created a platform. Everybody listens to it, including myself, or I could be banned after this. But you just have to adapt. You have to try and work out how you're going to navigate it. So anyway,
I remember watching my favorite band post a photo of their royalty check that came from Spotify for like the quarter, and it was like 11 cents.
Yeah, like Snoop Dogg. There was a famous thing from Snoop Dogg who was saying
he had like
billion streams, and
Yeah.
made 20 grand or something out of a billion streams. Which, look, 20 grand is big money for a lot of people.
Yep.
But Snoop Dogg, to be fair, probably would have sat there and gone, "That's the amount of weed I smoke in a week."
That doesn't cover my joint roller, dude.
Exactly.
Like, he's
Exactly.
full time, man. 7 days a week.
Great question. Great question for the week off the back of last week. What's the best collaboration you've seen from your childhood? Now, it was an interesting question. I sort of sat there and went, "Oh, I don't know what this means," but I'm assuming that it means what collaboration during your childhood did you see that you thought was really awesome? Because collaborations they weren't called collaborations back then.
No.
They were called cool stuff you get for free.
Vanilla Ice and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, and what was it though? Was it a collaboration? Was it something?
It was
that
a
you
ninja,
got,
ninja, rat, ninja. I bought the tape, man.
I was on the video. Oh, okay, on the movie. Okay, yeah.
That's not what you're talking about.
No, it is. Yeah, it's the same thing. Because I was thinking about it. I'm like, well, collaborations is the same deal, right? Vanilla Ice was monstrous back then.
Huge, man.
Pardon me. My thing was the McDonald's Transformers that you got. I don't know when it was. It was like it must have been like early 90s or something.
The pancakes and the fries
and the Big Mac. Yeah, that you got. I remember having those. Very rarely. We got a couple of them, but
those the Muppet Babies, they were huge as well.
Yeah,
like
Muppet
McDonald's
Babies.
and Muppet Babies.
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
yeah. So you had like the Kermit in the car, and then the Fozzie on the rocking horse. Animal on a trike, and Miss Piggy was on. Oh, I can't even remember.
I mean, that's a good memory. I wouldn't remember that. That's pretty good. All I remember is that from the McDonald's. Well, it wasn't even a collaboration, really. I suppose it was with Transformers, but it was. I remember the Big Mac turned into a Transformer, which was quite cool. Yeah. Imagine keeping all those now, man. They'd be worth a fortune. But I remember the Batman collab. Do you have one? Stop trying to be cool by association. Come on, we're past this.
No,
you listen. You got a stolen Batman and some Funkos, okay?
Yeah, pretty much, man. That's all there is. I got some Mighty Beans and some Terminator 2. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But I actually thought I did, but I'll have to find that because I'm pretty sure I've got one.
Do you have one? Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah. So, I love it.
But we've still got all the Muppets babies and all that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah, that's very cool.
So
yeah.
And there was a Gonzo on a skateboard. I remember that.
I can't remember. Gonzo
that one, had like the purple nose and
the
little red
Gonzo.
skateboard.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to think.
It was on a red skateboard.
Okay. Did you have that?
Somewhere.
All right. Next episode, you bring it out.
Or you're a liar. Of boxes.
Bring it out or you're a liar. That's it.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. Anyway, hey, heaps of stuff talked about tonight.
I know.
Collectors of Everything, Experts have done episode 41. We're getting 42. We're getting old, man. We're up to 42.
We've almost reached my age.
We've almost reached. So we've almost done a whole year of these. Almost.
Yeah,
in the next 2 months.
That. So
yeah. Anyway.
Now, do we have any confirmation on what's going on next week?
Nothing.
Sweet. All right. If we have everything, experts have done.
If we start doing, if we start calling out people to come on the episodes, we've had a cancellation before, so we're going to stop doing that.
So we're going to
stop. We're just going to be like, they're going to turn up. Yeah. Well, let's see.
Well, it's lucky we do a lot of editing. We'll go back and cut this out. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, we do heaps of editing. And shout out to whoever said you guys need to start doing editing, because we're not going to start doing editing.
We're not gonna.
We enjoy not doing it. We just press play and then press stop. And
you don't tell me what to do. You know, my dad.
Unless you're wearing the wrong hat and you say you didn't wear that hat, and then he calls you out. That was my dad.
Yeah, well, that was your dad. Yeah, my dad too. It's funny that.
All right. We'll see you next episode, guys. Collective Everything, Expats of None, episode 41. We're done. See you later.